Welcome. My name is Marilyn Matevia, and I am the Administrative Assistant at the Northeastern Ohio Synod Office. This video is going to discuss the way in which you will vote during this year's assembly. Voting will be conducted through services provided by Turning Technologies, the firm that has provided the software and machines that we have used in our in-person assemblies for some time. However, while some of the displays and methods may be familiar to those of you who have attended recent assemblies, the presentation will be quite different. Providing certainty and security for the voting process was one reason that voting members were required to register in advance of the assembly and are required to log into both a Zoom meeting to identify their presence and to the voting website or app to provide unique identification. You will have received an acknowledgement of your registration with Turning by September 4, and this will include a unique login ID and password. Whenever you vote, you will be required to be logged into Turning with those unique credentials and to provide a session or voting code that will be announced during the meeting. This is a general code at that time that will establish that anyone voting is currently attending the meeting, a requirement of Ohio law for electronic meetings. You may log into Turning either via a web browser page or through an app that can be downloaded to a smartphone or tablet. There are additional videos and instructions from Turning that we will put on the website and the YouTube channel where you can get that information. Please be sure to download and test your use of the app prior to the assembly. The apps are available as soon as you receive the ID codes. So checking this early to test your voting access will allow you to contact help if needed before there is an active vote that you might miss. There will also be some test meetings held in advance of the assembly, and the assembly doors will open at noon on September 11 to allow for final adjustments before the assembly formally begins. Most voting procedures will be familiar to those of you who have previously attended assemblies and are straightforward. Votes which are in response to motions or amendments will generally offer three options: yes, no, or abstain. The difference from the way this has been done with machines or cards is that the voting options will be displayed on your screen and you will enter the response in the response box at the bottom of the screen. After you press the send icon, you will receive a message acknowledging your receipt of your vote. Depending on your internet connection and speed, it may take a short time for you to receive the response. If you do not receive this message, press the icon again or immediately contact the help desk. It is possible that it may take a few seconds for the votes to register, especially if you are connected to the internet through a slow connection or via wireless. So please allow a short amount of time for the sent data to be received and acknowledged before presuming a failure. If you change your mind or make a mistake, you may change your vote by changing the response field and hitting the send icon again up until voting is closed. The first two ballots for bishop, because they involve many more choices, will be somewhat different. For the first ballot, since any ELCA minister of word and sacrament in good standing is eligible for election, the required response will be the entry of a name and enough information to uniquely identify the individual. To enable the Bishop Election Committee to download and sort and count the votes as quickly as possible, please do the following. The response should be divided into three separate sections by commas, as shown in examples in the instruction sheet that we will provide. The fields are last name, comma, first name, comma, and congregation or organization or retired, in that order. Please do not include any titles, just the names. Be sure to enter the last name first, because this helps with download and sorting of the data. If there can be any confusion over which individual you are indicating, please be specific enough in the third field to enable unique identification. If the Bishop Election Committee cannot uniquely identify an individual, that vote must be ruled void. Do not leave that call field blank. Just because there is only one person with a given first and last name on this synod's roster does not mean that there may not be another pastor with the same name elsewhere in the ELCA. Because of the tight schedule of this year's assembly, please consider voting for a person on the first ballot only if you are willing to continue to vote for that person on subsequent ballots until they are either elected, eliminated, or you change your mind based on the various presentations on Saturday. This is only a suggestion. As a voting member, you have full ability to vote for any minister of word and sacrament in good standing on the roster of the ELCA on the first ballot. The second ballot will consist of all persons who received valid votes on the first ballot and have not indicated that their names should be withdrawn. This will probably be a fairly long list, which will be distributed via email to all voting members at their registration address. This was another reason for asking for individual email addresses and registration information. You will need to be able to receive that email on Friday afternoon with the list of individuals and their assigned number or code for voting on the second ballot. In accordance with the provisions in the governing documents, individuals will appear on the second ballot in descending order of votes received, then alphabetical order. Numbers will be assigned in increasing value according to that rule. It is anticipated that there will be two-digit numbers assigned to each individual. In the unlikely event that more than 90 names appear, three-digit numbers will be assigned. This assures that all individuals require the same number of digits for votes to be entered, and thus will help with verification of vote entry. Please be sure to cross-reference the list of names and the assigned number. The names will not appear in the response box, so please verify the number before you press the send icon. If you make a mistake, remember that you can change it before the polls close by resending a corrected number. For the third and subsequent bishop ballots, the number of names will be small enough that all voting information will appear on the display screen, as for other types of ballots. Therefore, there will be no more need to consult external information. All voting information will appear on your web page or voting app. We hope that this short video has been useful. Please review the additional information and videos that are available. If you have any additional questions, please send an email to us at assembly@neos-elca.org and you will be contacted. Thank you.